Since Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors, they have been 15-2 when he's in the starting lineup. Most people have credited the Warriors' turnaround to him, rightfully so, but the Warriors have also found a hidden gem that has been giving them really valuable minutes. For some context, Quinten Post was drafted 52nd overall this past year and didn't start playing real minutes until the end of January. Over the past month, Post is averaging a modest 9 points a game, but he's shown great characteristics that makes him a really valuable player. The first aspect is his processing speed. The Warriors system is notoriously difficult to really understand in the first year because it's unique with a lot of moving parts. Draymond Green has talked on podcasts about trying to acclimate younger guys into the system. In addition, a lot of people have criticized Steve Kerr in the past for making his offense too complicated for younger players to really understand. But Post has adapted really fast. Here, he tells Jonathan Kuminga where he needs to go to start the play, the ball that swings from one side to the next to set up an off-ball action for Curry. Levine is expecting to switch, and Ellis is top blocking to make sure Curry can't come up. So Post essentially pushes Ellis into Curry to free himself up for a wide open three. For someone to process the game fast, they need to always be aware on the court. The Warriors zone gets Franz Wagner an open floater, but with Batazzi lingering behind, Post immediately sprints to get a head start. Draymond advances the ball, and Batazzi doesn't know where Post went, and he gets a layup. A lot of his awareness comes from knowing where his defenders are on the court. Moses Moody misses a three, but Post picks up the board and immediately is thinking about running a dribble handoff with Steph. That's because Valanciunas is lingering in the paint, and Post now has a wide open shot. While Post missed that one, he has shot a remarkable 41% from three this season, and as weird as it may sound, the Warriors are really lacking shooting besides Steph Curry. But with a 7-footer that can shoot, Jimmy Butler's driving lanes are now much wider and has made Butler's playmaking much more lethal. Even just by standing there, help defenders are scared to overly commit, which then forces the entire defense to collapse, and that opens up shots for other teammates. So because of his great shot and intelligence, Steve Kerr has been able to trust him for real minutes every single night. The most noteworthy might be on February 27th against the Orlando Magic. With the Warriors down 14 at half and needing a spark, Kerr started Post in the second half. Just a minute into the third, the Warriors are trying to set up a catch and shoot opportunity for Steph, but with Wendell Carter just hanging out in the paint, Post releases to the wing and knocks down the open three. On the next possession, Post dribbles from the wing to find Podziemski. They run pick and roll, and he immediately seals a smaller guard and finishes it home. Then, after the Warriors get a steal, Podziemski is able to find Jimmy Butler at the rim. He tries to go up, but there's two people there, but Post didn't assume Butler would score, so he's running and he gets rewarded with a layup. Then with Podziemski initiating a 5-on-4 fast break, Wagner needs to protect the paint, and that allows Post to step into another wide open three, and it's his personal 10-0 run that got the Warriors back in that game. Now, I know what you're thinking. For his prototype, Post looks like a defensive liability. He's 7 feet tall and doesn't look super agile, and you are right. Like most guys, Post can't really keep up with quick guards. Against his 4-guard lineup, Levine uses the pick and roll to attack Post. He can't get back to LaRavia, so Butler has to step up, and LaRavia drives before finding Keon Ellis down low. Next time down, the Kings do the same thing except with Malik Monk, and he blows right by Post for the and one. Post is also not the strongest for his size, so if someone big tries to attack him off the dribble, they have a pretty good chance of scoring. But Post makes up for these deficiencies with technique and again IQ. One of the most important things he does is stay vertical. When he doesn't have to defend a 4-guard lineup, Post has the luxury of staying in the paint and seeing where he needs to help. On this one, Post takes a scan so he knows where everyone is. Banchero turns the corner, and Post has his arms up perfectly to block Banchero's shot. The other major thing he does is look big in the pick and roll. Yes, he's already 7 feet tall, but he does a great job using his arms to deter the ball handler from passing it. On this one, Levine has a ball screen, and Post has his arms low to deter the bounce pass. He has to throw it up high then, which gets deflected. The ball does eventually find DeRozan for a 3, and on the offensive rebound, Post and Moody work together to swat the shot away. From an intelligence side, Post again has really good on-court awareness, which is most imperative for someone that needs to protect the rim. He sees Boncaro trying to seal Hield in the post, and the Magic have an off-ball screen to try and distract him, but using his peripherals, he notices the pass and deflects it away. And when you put all that together, it turns into a beauty of a possession like this. Post tries to tell GP2 to switch out to McBride, but he doesn't hear it in time. He sees McBride go right and cuts him off. Bridges then cuts, but Post is right there to help, and he forces a really tough fadeaway jumper. The point is, Post is very proactive on defense, acknowledging that just because one action is done doesn't mean it's time to rest. He can sense multiple actions in the same possession and then figure out what to do. And for someone with his build and little experience, that is very rare to see. It doesn't mean that he doesn't make mistakes. He uncharacteristically jumps on this pump fake by Wendell Carter, and Draymond has to foul him. But given the fact that the Warriors roster is loaded with good defenders, the most important thing he does is being in the right place. That at least gives guys like Draymond enough time to clean the rest up. As we get closer to playoff time, I won't be surprised if Steve Kerr continues to rely on Post for real playoff minutes. For a rookie, he clearly is learning really fast and doesn't make too many mistakes. He also gives the Warriors a shooting threat that they desperately need, especially to help space the floor for guys like Butler and Draymond. And while Butler deserves a ton of credit for riding the ship, finding a gem in Quinten Post in the second round has helped resolve some of the Warriors' issues, which is why he is the Warriors' secret weapon. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can support me on these platforms. Appreciate all your support, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.